What if a meme created an entire nation? What if a meme was much bigger than even the movement? What if a meme could actually transcend culture for years and expand into buying its own island? That's where this is all going, and it connects directly into this FPB4 quote, this idea of culture and borrowing culture, and what does it mean to captivate culture, and what role does culture even play, and how the hell is a country and a movement connected to crypto or any of those pieces. And we're going to dive into FB4's most recent thesis. This thesis is a little different, mainly because it's about a country. It's about a movement and a legacy lore that has been around since 2015, 2016. And the crypto is just like a small part of it. When I first saw this, I looked at it and said, okay, what is FBB4 seeing this? Why is this in his wallet? Why is he investing in this where it's a lower market cap? And I think for me, like part of the aha moment is there's so many different aspects that I want to break down in this video. And I'll probably create a couple other videos around this because Kekistan, the country, is actually the very first internet-born meme country. And when I say internet-born, I mean it was covered by not only media, but it sparked a movement through 4chan and really this cult of Kek. And so much so it not only transcended the meme itself, but it stood up for this idea of us against them, or how do we go against those that are suppressing us and fight back against culture movements that in many cases try to stymie those that are that want to have their voice heard. And it goes from those in their basement to those that are on 4chan to Reddit. And it really kind of is much more than just even the meme itself. It's wild as it gets. The mentions even included Joe Rogan. I'll talk more about him a little bit.
What's a Kekistan?
Kek? Oh, Kek is a mythological country that's ruled by chaos, by the god Kek, who's a frog.
Praise Kek.
They call themselves Kekistanis, and they claim to be an oppressed people from an embattled nation called Kekistan.
So what I find interesting about that part of that and connecting into what we're talking here is that not only was this covered by media and Joe Rogan mentioned it and Kekistan being so much bigger, but this is like that playing into where do the shit posters, those that really roasting those normie cultures, those that are bigger than just one individual, really that's where memes represent. And then also how does that connect into a movement? I mentioned that guy Big Man Tyrone, it pretty much embodies and been identified as the president of this meme country. He has a large following on YouTube. I'll show his YouTube channel in a minute. What I think is beautiful is this unserious yet serious ethos of memes themselves. And isn't that really what this is all about? That's another reason why seeing this, I think this is actually identifying some of those bigger macro trends that we've mentioned in previous videos or that I've always believed existed across the culture. Even Vice covering the meme country of Kekistan's president, it was hijacked by the alt-right. There's a lot of different aspects that fall into this, but not only media coverage, but it has a cult-like community of loyalists that believe in the message, believe in the movement. And it is much bigger than just a token or a meme coin. And I think that's where FEB4 was going in his thesis. If we look at what he's talking about, he says just as important is the Kek community. Of course, with great meme coins, it always is. But I think the idea of why Kek conviction, he says, Kekistan's lore has produced thousands of viral moments across the years, providing its mimetic endurance, right? And Kekistan itself has this cultural prominence and is unbreakable, especially because it's connected to Big Man Tyrone. Speaking of Big Man Tyrone, 500,000+ followers on YouTube. He has a variety of content. Hire me to spokesman type content. But you'll see that oftentimes he's in his presidential garb when it comes to being the president of Kekistan. He got shouted out by PewDiePie, one of the largest YouTubers. He creates a variety of content, memes themselves to Kekistan as the country, even being interviewed across the board. And great follow. I think I'm going to do a whole video just Big Man Tyrone himself. But what I find so fascinating about this is that this piece where FPV4 is looking at Kekistan or Kek on ETH, I think the part of this that's so exciting is that it's bigger than just the meme coin. It's bigger than just the country. It's a movement that's been around for a long while. It also has a YouTuber that is self-identified president. Apparently, he even got a presidential welcome into a couple other countries. And the other part of this that is exciting is it is a lower market cap play than a lot of the other FBB4 plays, right? While we're recording this, it's just under a 3 million market cap. I love the supply is at 420.69, of course, for the culture. Its heights were up over 16 mil market cap. So we've seen its growth. And from a chart perspective over the last of 2025, pretty impressive that it's kept its coil here and it's almost ready to launch out. I think what I connect back to this idea of what the FBB4 ethos is, right? Where it's understanding bigger macro trends, understanding TradFi, understanding like as this market, this bull market kind of takes off and you have new attention and new liquidity, there are things that people are going to latch onto and identify from. And not to mention this core group of Kekistanis, they even want to buy an island and bring this whole thing to life. They have passports and an entire lore about the country itself. I would definitely think of this as a different version of what FBB4 has been talking about. I love that he dropped a full thesis on it. It has a decade of lore and it truly represents what memes are all about. They also happen to meme and give some love and attention to FBB4, but I think this is an interesting play. Love the thesis breakdown. Check out the links below. But what are your thoughts on, a meme nation and a movement that has been around for almost a decade, but also connecting it to an Ethereum token? Let's face it, Ethereum meme coins represent that idea of being around forever, and they're not just a Solana casino play. And so this is an interesting one, definitely a different piece of the FBB4 puzzle, but also one where I think FBB4 is playing chess, or maybe he's playing into the country lore or the meme coin shit posters and activating them, which is what memes are all about. Who knows where this all goes in the future, but definitely check it out. And I'll create a couple other videos on Big Man Tyrone and maybe a deeper dive into Kekistan and how this all connects.